Hello, you are listening to Tia Sách. In this audio, you'll be listening to the summary of Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, by author McKeown. Now, let's get started with introduction. Why less is more? In today's fast-paced world, the pressure to do more, have more, and be more is overwhelming. We strive to be all things to all people, saying yes to every request, often without considering the real impact on our time and energy. This compulsion to fill our lives with activities leads to a paradoxical situation where we are both overworked and underutilized. The essence of essentialism isn't about increasing efficiency or managing to do more with less. It's about honing in on what truly matters. It's a systematic discipline that requires us to regularly evaluate whether our commitments and efforts align with our most vital goals. The key is not just to get things done, but to get the right things done. By committing to this minimalist philosophy, you'll not only enhance your productivity but also find greater satisfaction in your achievements. Essentialism teaches us that less is more, not by doing less for the sake of less, but by investing in the things that genuinely matter, for a richer, more fulfilling life. End of introduction. Why less is more? Join me as we explore the book's summary, starting with the first track, Tia Sách 1, The Key to Focused Productivity. In the bustling world of modern work, where multitasking is often seen as a virtue, we find ourselves drowning in a sea of tasks, struggling to discern the vital few from the trivial many. The principle of essentialism offers a lifeline, guiding us to streamline our focus and energy toward what truly matters. Essentialism challenges the prevailing notion that being busy is the same as being productive. Instead, it advocates for a concentrated effort on a selected few priorities. This philosophy hinges on several core tenets. 1. Prioritize meticulously. Begin by continually evaluating your tasks to determine which ones are essential. This ongoing process involves making tough decisions to eliminate tasks that do not contribute significantly to your goals. 2. Achieve more by doing less. Reject the widespread belief that success comes from juggling multiple commitments. Instead, focus on excelling in specific areas that align closely with your values and ambitions. 3. Continuous self-assessment. Regularly question the value of your activities. Are they worth your time and energy? If something no longer serves your greater purpose, it's time to let it go and redirect your efforts towards more impactful endeavors. 4. Implement changes decisively. Once you've identified your essential tasks, waste no time in reorganizing your workload to align with these priorities. This might mean saying no to new commitments or renegotiating existing obligations. The challenge of essentialism lies in its execution. In a corporate world dominated by a non-essentialist mindset, where employees are measured by how thinly they can spread themselves across multiple tasks, advocating for focused productivity can seem radical, yet the evidence is clear. Spreading ourselves too thin leads to diminished returns. Successful individuals and organizations realize that true productivity results from making substantial progress in areas that matter most. We've just finished Tia Sách 1. The Key to Focused Productivity. Tia Sách 2. Regaining Control and Overcoming Learned Helplessness in Decision-Making. Have you ever pondered the importance of making decisive choices about which tasks to accept or refuse? In reality, many of us struggle with decision fatigue, often saying "I have to" instead of "I choose to," indicating a path of non-essentialism where we no longer control our decisions, but are controlled by them. The concept of learned helplessness, illustrated through experiments where dogs subjected to unavoidable shocks eventually stopped trying to escape even when escape was possible, mirrors our own resignation when overwhelmed. This psychological conditioning leads to a state where we accept tasks indiscriminately or avoid decision-making altogether, letting others' priorities dictate our actions. This passive acceptance can have far-reaching consequences. McKeown illustrates this with personal anecdotes, such as starting law school due to external recommendations rather than personal interest, or attending a business meeting shortly after his child's birth because he couldn't refuse. Such decisions show how failing to assert one's priorities can lead to living by someone else's agenda. This external influence on our decisions can come from many quarters, whether it's familial expectations, workplace culture, or even subtle cues like restaurant ambiances influencing our choices. In professional settings, this often translates into accepting projects that align more with others' goals than our own, diluting our efforts across multiple fronts. To combat this, it is essential to consciously reclaim the power of choice. This involves recognizing the signs of decision fatigue and learned helplessness and actively working against them by setting clear priorities and boundaries. It also means understanding the impact of external stimuli and influences on our decision-making processes and developing strategies to mitigate them. Organizations and individuals alike must foster environments where making informed, autonomous decisions is encouraged and where the freedom to choose is not just a notion but a practiced reality. By embracing this approach, we not only enhance our productivity, but also our satisfaction with our work and life choices. End of Tia Sách 2. Regaining control and overcoming learned helplessness in decision-making. Welcome to Tia Sách 3. Embrace the idea of less but better. Accepting trade-offs in life and business. Imagine you could travel back in time and invest in a company destined for immense financial success. Would you choose IBM, Microsoft, or Apple? While these tech giants might seem like obvious choices, the most lucrative investment would actually have been Southwest Airlines. This airline demonstrated extraordinary success by focusing on essentialism, doing a few critical things exceptionally well. Instead of offering a range of amenities like first-class seating, meals, and seat reservations, Southwest Airlines focused on the core task of transporting passengers from point A to point B efficiently. By eliminating unnecessary services, they mastered their primary function and achieved remarkable success. This strategy of concentrating on the essentials and making trade-offs is challenging but crucial. It's easy to believe we can handle everything, but in reality, trying to do so often leads to failure. The essence of essentialism is about making deliberate choices to focus on what's truly important. This strategy, however, involves making tough trade-offs. While it may seem straightforward to cut out non-essential tasks, in reality, many people struggle to resist the temptation to do it all. When Southwest's success became evident, Continental Airlines attempted to replicate their model. However, instead of streamlining their operations, Continental tried to maintain their traditional services while launching a budget brand, Continental Light. This dual strategy led to operational inefficiencies and prevented Continental Light from being price competitive. Ultimately, their failure to focus on the essentials and make necessary trade-offs resulted in significant financial losses. Recognizing what is essential requires a mindset shift to less but better. This principle encourages individuals and organizations to identify and invest in only the most critical tasks and cut out the rest. This approach can be challenging, especially for those accustomed to the more is better mentality. However, by eliminating non-essential activities, one can achieve greater focus and efficiency. The key is not to decide what is non-essential enough to remove, but what is essential enough to retain. You have just listened to Tia Sách 3. Embrace the idea of less but better, accepting trade-offs in life and business. Now, let's move to Tia Sách 4, creating space for clarity. When we are overwhelmed with constant communication and endless entertainment options, finding time to be bored seems impossible. Yet, the moments when we have nothing to do can be the most beneficial for our minds. Boredom provides an opportunity to think clearly about what truly needs to be done. To harness this benefit, it's essential to intentionally create breaks in your daily schedule for isolation and reflection. This space allows you to assess your life, identify vital tasks, and discard the trivial. Great minds like Newton and Einstein understood this, often isolating themselves to think deeply about their theories. Similarly, many of today's successful CEOs schedule blank space in their calendars to focus on strategic thinking. McKeown, in his writing process, adopted a monk mode, cutting off from emails and phones to concentrate fully. This focus is not just about avoiding new obligations but also about ensuring adequate sleep, which significantly enhances cognitive functions and productivity. Non-essentialists often view sleep as a luxury and a waste of time, but this approach is misguided. Studies indicate that inadequate sleep impairs cognitive abilities similarly to alcohol intoxication, highlighting the importance of rest in maintaining high performance levels. 1 hour of sleep can lead to several hours of increased productivity the following day, making it a vital component of a balanced and effective routine. Additionally, scheduling time for play boosts creativity and relieves stress. Companies like Twitter, Pixar, and Google recognize this by integrating playful elements into their work environments, thereby boosting employee inspiration and productivity. Play helps develop novel connections between ideas and serves as an antidote to stress, contributing to a more productive and creative mindset. Taking time for reflection and relaxation is not just about identifying vital tasks, it also helps maintain focus on the bigger picture. People often get lost in daily tasks, losing sight of their overall goals. Essentialism teaches us to keep the bigger picture in mind. One practical method is keeping a journal. Instead of writing down everything, force yourself to write as little as possible. This exercise helps you sift through your day, highlighting only what is essential. Over time, reviewing your entries will reveal the bigger picture and help maintain your focus on what truly matters. End of Tia Sách 4. Creating space for clarity. We've reached the halfway point. Let's continue with Tia Sách 5. Saying no and setting boundaries. Mastering the art of saying no to non-essential tasks is crucial in the pursuit of productivity and clarity in both professional and personal life. This practice not only eliminates clutter but also enhances focus on truly important goals. Consider the analogy of a schoolyard adjacent to a busy street, where boundaries are established not to restrict children, but to ensure their safety and freedom within defined limits. Similarly, setting clear professional and personal boundaries prevents overcommitment, allowing for a more balanced and focused life. However, the challenge often lies not in identifying what is non-essential, or where to set boundaries, but in overcoming the discomfort associated with enforcing these limits. Many fear the social repercussions, such as appearing rude, disappointing others, or damaging relationships. It is vital to detach the act of saying no from personal relationships, recognizing that the temporary discomfort of refusal pales in comparison to the prolonged regret of agreeing to unsuitable commitments. Additionally, setting firm boundaries aids in avoiding the sunk cost bias, where one continues to invest in failing ventures due to past commitments, leading to greater losses. For instance, the Concorde jet, despite being an engineering marvel, never achieved commercial success. The French and British governments continued its funding for decades, exemplifying sunk cost bias. Acknowledging and cutting losses early would have allowed for more effective resource allocation. To fully embrace essentialism, you must define your goals with both precision and inspiration. For example, while the aim to end world hunger is noble, it lacks practical specificity. In contrast, a goal to construct a specific number of affordable, environmentally friendly homes in a targeted area provides both a noble cause and measurable objectives. This specificity enables clear tracking of progress and definitive achievement of goals. By learning to decline non-essential tasks and setting thoughtful boundaries, you not only prioritize effectively, but also free yourself from unproductive endeavors. This approach does not constrain but liberates, fostering genuine progress and impactful achievements. Through such a disciplined focus, you pave the way for a fulfilling pursuit of your true objectives. End of Tia Sách 5. Saying no and setting boundaries. Tia Sách 6. Strategies for essentialism executions. Committing to essentialism involves a final crucial step, execution. This process is akin to the discipline needed during a thorough closet cleaning when we struggle to part with items we never use. How often do we convince ourselves to keep an unworn shirt, thinking we might wear it someday, only to find our closet as crowded as ever? To avoid this trap, apply the 90% rule. Identify the most crucial criterion for your decision, such as, will I ever wear this again? Score each item from 0 to 100, and discard anything scoring less than 90. If it isn't a clear yes, it's a clear no. Another method is to establish 3 minimum criteria and 3 ideal criteria for keeping something. If an item doesn't meet the minimum, and at least 2 ideal criteria, it goes. For instance, that howling wolf shirt likely won't meet criteria like, is it stylish or would I wear it every day? Essentialism also requires identifying and addressing obstacles directly rather than sidestepping them. Imagine you're a Boy Scout leader needing to get your troop to camp before nightfall. Initially, each scout carries an equal load, but the disparity in their speeds causes the group to spread out, risking some getting left behind. A non-essentialist might make frequent stops to let stragglers catch up or put slower scouts at the front, both of which slow down the entire group. The essentialist solution? Redistribute the weight, lightening the slower scouts' backpacks and adding more to the faster scouts. By thinking with essentialist principles, you eliminate the problem entirely. Preparation is another cornerstone of essentialism. One of our biggest mistakes is assuming plans will go smoothly. An essentialist, however, plans for potential setbacks. For any task, whether it's a school drop-off or a work presentation, build in a buffer of 50% more time than estimated. This cushion allows for adjustments and corrections, preventing minor issues from causing significant delays. This is the beginning of Tia Sách 6, Strategies for Essentialism Executions. Tia Sách 7, Essentialism in Everyday Life, Small Steps, Big Impact. The concept of essentialism is not just a strategy but a way of life that centers on taking deliberate, incremental steps toward your goals. This approach is rooted in the idea that true success is seldom achieved in one grand gesture. Instead, it builds progressively through small, consistent actions. Consider the example of Richmond RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. After years of ineffective sweeping reforms, they shifted to a strategy of small, positive reinforcements. Officers rewarded young people for good deeds, such as disposing of trash properly, with movie tickets and event passes. This not only promoted good behavior but also significantly reduced recidivism rates from 60% to 8% over a decade. This demonstrates the profound impact of small, consistent acts in fostering long-term change. Similarly, establishing routines is essential in implementing essentialism effectively in your life. Routines transform challenging tasks into manageable habits, aligning daily actions with broader life goals. For instance, Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps embedded essentialism into his training regimen. He visualized the perfect race every night before sleep and upon waking, ingraining these images into his subconscious. This meticulous routine paid off during the Olympics, where his practiced habits led to repeated victories. This practice of essentialism shares similarities with minimalist ideologies, such as Zen Buddhism, which emphasizes the importance of presence and routine. Zen monks lead highly structured lives, filled with scheduled meditations and communal activities, focusing solely on essential tasks. No monk could excuse themselves because of a distraction, since the point of the schedule is to eliminate distractions and focus only on what is really necessary. While not everyone needs to adopt such stringent practices, the principle remains the same. Consistency and focus on the essentials lead to significant achievements. By incorporating small, deliberate steps and structured routines into your daily life, you not only build momentum but also create a sustainable path toward achieving your goals. Each small win boosts confidence and provides an opportunity to reassess and ensure you are moving in the right direction. Thus, essentialism not only simplifies decision-making, but also amplifies the impact of your actions, fostering a life of meaningful accomplishment. You have just finished Tia Sách 7. Essentialism in Everyday Life, Small Steps, Big Impact. We've now gone through 7 Tia Sách. Join me as we listen to the final conclusion. Despite appearances, only a few things are truly vital to our goals and well-being. Everything else is unimportant. Instead of continuously adding responsibilities and material possessions, seek ways to simplify your life. Embracing essentialism helps you avoid the trap of being overworked and underutilized, ensuring that every effort is intentional and impactful. By eliminating trivial distractions from your thoughts and routine, you can excel in what truly matters. Thank you for listening all the way to the final Tia Sách of the summary book, Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown. Goodbye, and see you next time.